Welcome back to the Glad We Talked podcast.
I'm Chanel.
And I'm Tori. And we're
And
so
we're here.
so Chanel and I are doing this remotely right now, so we might be hitting some speed bumps along the way, but we're excited to bring you this week's episode.
Yeah, I feel like usually we look at each other and we just talk with our eyes.
We do.
So now that we're like can't look at each other, it's weird.
It is very weird. And we were doing video chat, but because of the bandwidth on our computers, it was not working with the recorder too. So this is especially challenging.
Yeah, and I guess if the sounds different, that's probably why as well.
Yes, good call, Chanel.
Okay, so Tori, how
Yes.
are you feeling, my dear? You are just coming off a 3-day bug.
Yeah, so this is part of the reason why we are on this virtual experience. Um, I had the stomach bug and it was gnarly. I'm feeling better now. A lot of Gatorade, saltines, ginger ale, Pedialyte ice pops. If you get the stomach bug that's going around, game changer.
Like actual ices, like ice pops that you put in the freezer.
Yes, they are Pedialyte, so they have all the extra electrolytes in them, but you put them
Oh.
in the freezer, like those tube kind of the plastic tube ice pops,
Mm-hmm.
and you just freeze them and then you can eat them while you're like in the middle of
Of throwing up.
whatever. But to keep you hydrated and not to, I got severely dehydrated from this, but these ice pops were perfect.
Are they good?
Yeah, I thought they were
Okay.
okay. They were like, yeah, popsicles, I don't think there's any popsicle that you're like, this was amazing. They do the job of giving you something tasty that's not ice cubes. So it's like,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a
Um,
flavor other than water.
exact exactly. So I thought they were good. I had them door dashed to my apartment or what Instacarted because Mitch wasn't able to get them near me and they were too far away. All was well and I was able to have my Pedialyte ice pops.
Well, thank God
And
for 2023 and Instacart and Postmates and Uber Eats.
I said that. I was
When
like,
you have a stomach bug, you have like everything at the ready.
what would you do? Especially, I don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, this pretty gnarly. So I hear it's going around. Everyone wash your hands, wear your masks if you're out in public, be safe. The good news is it only, for me, lasted 4 days. So 2 days of physical symptoms and the rest was more fatigue and everything. But here I am today feeling better.
I'm so glad. And I've told you before, like I had a bug or food poisoning or whatever, and it's like the sickest I've ever felt. So I
Ugh.
felt for you. It's awful.
Would you rather have the stomach bug or a really bad cold where your nose gets all chapped and you're like, think you have bronchitis?
I'd rather have like the flu. I'd rather have
Mm.
cold, bronchitis, whatever, because that feeling of like nausea when you can't do anything else is awful.
You no longer have any control. Like it just does its own thing.
Truly. So I
Yeah.
feel for you. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Thank you. How
Who
was
knew Pedialyte ice pops were the answer?
I didn't know. So new real review. I new real review from the stomach bug. Tori's recommended 6 starter pack. That's what we talked about on last episode.
Oh, the
The
starter
starter
packs,
packs.
yeah.
So my 6 starter pack includes saltines, ginger ale, my new favorite, the Pedialyte ice pops, and a Netflix show. That's like I
Mm.
watch Grey's Anatomy, so you could
Oh,
binge it. You can just lay on the couch and just forget about it.
and there's so many Grey's Anatomy episodes, like it'll never end.
I know. Oh, and another one. Guys, remember the weighted blanket I talked about around Christmas time that
Yes.
Mitch had gotten me? What episode was that? That was during our gift guide
Yes,
episode.
the gift guide episode.
Yeah, I actually used it while I was sick because I just felt like I wanted someone to hold me, but obviously Mitch didn't want to be close to me, and it was
Oh,
perfect.
you like needed a hug, but he's like,
Yeah.
this isn't a job for me. This is a job for the
There are liquids
blanket.
all over the room in addition to your like 5 different liquid bottles of hydration. Yeah.
I'm sure
So
Rhodey was around too.
Rhodey did not leave my side. He stuck
I
with
can see
me.
that for him.
Yeah, he just stayed with me for 4 days, locked up in my bedroom. When I finally moved to the couch, he came with me. So he was my sick buddy.
Aw,
But
we
yeah,
love him for that.
we do. So, how was your week in the real world?
Well, it was a long weekend. I had off Monday for holiday.
Good for you.
I know, so that was great.
Did you do
I
anything fun?
we went to a comedy show on Saturday. That was about it. Other than that, just like kind of organized around the house, rested, just, stayed in and kind of relaxed. I went to Sephora.
I was going to ask if you did any good shopping because usually there's great President's Day sales.
Yeah, so I went to Sephora on President's Day. So that was the Monday. And they had like 500 bonus points if you spent more than $75. So
Ooh.
I got an extra 500 bonus points and I got some really good stuff.
What did you get? Let's do a Chanel shopping haul at Sephora.
Okay, so I really went for one thing, of course, and I ended up with like four things, but I got the Kosas concealer. That's what I was going in for. It's like the new TikTok trend. Absolutely love it. It's very like creamy, but it has good coverage. I really like it. And I'm shade 8.1 olive, so there's different undertones you can be, and I'm olive undertones.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah, so it's the Kosas concealer and
Costas, how do you spell it?
Kosas.
Oh, Kosas.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't heard of it. You are my beauty guru.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of it because you're like always on TikTok.
I know.
But yeah, it's a really good one. I've been using it for this is like my third bottle of it now, and I love it.
Okay.
I'm not a big concealer girl either, but I just got addicted to it. So that was one purchase.
Nice.
Then I also I was just like roaming the Tarte aisle because of the Dubai trip. I was like, what do they got over here?
Right. And
So
they had was the Dubai trip when Tarte Cosmetics had Beyonce?
Tarte Cosmetics didn't have Beyonce. Atlantis Hotel had Beyonce.
Oh.
But the Tarte influencers maybe got a chance to go. I don't know. It was like a separate thing, but it was all at the same time, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. I had no idea what was going on in Dubai. I knew Tarte Cosmetics was there and I knew Beyonce was there. So,
Yeah, it was like a lot happening.
wow.
So I got this Tarte eyeshadow palette. It was like Juicy Amazonian Clay, it's called.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
I know. I just looked at it and I was like, this is for me. It has like shimmery pinks and shimmery browns and then like matte pinks and browns, which is like the two colors I wear the most.
Yep. Sounds right. I was like, it has pink and shimmers. The first two words, it's Chanel.
Yeah. So I picked that up. I was like, I need this. That one was like $45. So it wasn't too bad. And then I was standing online to check out. And of course, I get targeted. The brand Milk.
Yes.
I don't really use their stuff a lot, but I looked over and they have these like cream contour sticks.
Yep.
And have you used it?
Okay. This is one of my mom's favorite products.
No way.
It's the blush,
I didn't even know about it.
It's not
Oh,
the contour
blush.
stick, but I'm assuming they're very similar. But when she runs out of this, this blush lasts a long time. When she runs out, she's like, Tori, please go to Sephora and get me my Milk blush.
Okay, I have heard good things about it too, and I do use like a stick blush as well, like but from a different brand.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw it sitting there, and I was like, I've been wanting to do like a contour type thing because I don't really contour, so I've been wanting to kind of try that. So I saw it sitting there,
Oh, cool.
and I got one of those in the shade Simmer. It was like darker, and then I also got the Summer Fridays jet lag mask.
Love.
Do you? I haven't tried it.
You know what I love about the jet lag mask is you can put it on and then you don't have to wash it off.
Oh, it just absorbs into your skin.
Yep.
I love that. Kind of like remember we were talking about the Laneige sleep mask?
Yes, it's very similar to the Laneige.
Okay, that's what I kind of gathered from reading it. And it said you can just like sleep with it, or like I like easiness when it comes to beauty products. Like I like the easiest, laziest way I can
Absolutely
make my skin look better. Like I like to do that. So I read it and I was like, okay, I'm in. It was $26. I don't know if it was the mini size because it was on the checkout lane.
Oh, I think that's the mini size, but I've done the exact same thing and it lasts you a while.
Yeah, it was a big bottle. Like it's not that small.
Yeah, no, it is. It's perfect for, especially if you want to go on a flight too, hence jet lag. I think it's perfect just to throw in your carry-on. And I've done it on the plane. I've used it as like a replacement for any water, like absorbing skincare step. I really like it.
So funny you say that because I wear makeup on my flights. So I always look at products that I could use on a flight. And then I'm like, what's the point of it anyway? Because I put makeup on. But I do like hydration because my skin gets very dry on flights anyway. So I like the night after a flight, I can use it. But I don't normally use it on the plane because I'm wearing makeup. So I'm like, I don't know why I think I'm going to change, but I'm not.
That's okay. I mean, when you're in that high altitude anyways, it does have effects on your hydration and your skin. So
Yeah.
it's perfect for after a flight, whether you do it on the plane, off the plane. If you're not even on a plane, it's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll probably put it on like the night after a flight or something, or when my skin's feeling extra dry or after
Yeah.
drinking. So I'm excited to use those things.
I can't wait to hear your real review of all these products.
Yes. And then separately, I also have a few Black owned products that I wanted to shout out.
Oh, great. Let's hear them.
So I've been using Briogeo, I think that's how you say it,
Mm-hmm.
the hair conditioner, the Don't Despair Repair. Just got it recently and I've been using it for like the past month or two. I'm obsessed with it.
Oh, you recommended it to me too, and I have to get it.
Yeah, and I think I have a trial size one that I can give to you,
Ooh,
but
score.
I love pawning off all my beauty products on
I
you.
know. I love it. I do not complain.
But it does, like, I noticed a difference because I didn't use it today because I was like in a rush. And I noticed a
Mm.
difference when I blow out my hair of like how much moisture it actually puts into my hair.
Oh,
Like it's
really?
crazy. Yeah. You
Wow.
you basically just leave it on for like 3 to 5 minutes in the shower, then you wash it out. And when you go to blow dry your hair, you can just tell your hair is so much more
It's
moisturized.
like silky smooth.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I've been loving that. And the founder actually has a really interesting story. Her name is Nancy Twine. And I would definitely look her up. She had like a background in finance, worked on Wall Street, like was a VP at like this huge finance company. And then she
wow.
started this business on the side. Basically,
Stop.
like,
This was her side gig?
yeah, I think she quit to like start it full time, but like
Okay.
she basically grew up with her family learning how to make like hair products from natural ingredients and kind of just started this company based on that.
That's amazing. I
Yeah.
love that story and definitely want to try this.
Yeah, you should. And there's so many other products that I haven't tried yet, but I've heard really good things. And then I've also tried this controversial product, Miele.
Wait, why is it controversial?
So there's been a whole thing on TikTok with the new influencer everyone loves, Alex Earl. She posted about it, but it's really made for Black women and Black hair.
And
So and
she's
she's
Caucasian.
yes. So she used it and she raved about it, and obviously it costs people to buy it, but the issue
Mm,
is that like a lot of Black women can't find products made for their hair type. So when things sell out that are specifically made for Black hair, it's discouraging because there are so few things in the market.
right. Oh,
So
interesting. I saw some of this controversy. I didn't know what it was about. I just saw something trending, but unfortunately, I wasn't on that side of TikTok.
you're on the other side of
I
TikTok.
don't know what side of TikTok. I'm
I
obviously
don't
not
either.
getting beauty
Not on the
product.
beauty side.
No.
So anyway, I got it a few months ago. I just started it this weekend. I haven't really seen results yet. So
Okay.
I can keep everyone posted.
Okay, so where can you buy this brand?
So you can get it off Amazon or their website. I got it off Amazon.
And it's meant to help women of color regrow hair from hair loss?
From hair loss, or if you just want to grow your hair in general.
I see. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And is it a small business?
Yeah, it's a Black owned hair care brand. It was a small business up until recently. I think like a month or two ago, P&G Beauty bought the brand.
Oh, well, if it is a small business, it's starting off. Something I know is that on TikTok, a lot of small businesses or like small creators are having a hard time supplying too, because like when someone um, of like a big following promotes a product, all of a sudden they get flooded with orders.
Mm,
So, I mean, one, make sure that the product's going to who it's meant for, but two, I mean, I mean,
supply and demand.
yeah, as someone selling a product, it's a kind of good product, but also it can be hard on your supply chain.
Yeah, I was watching some panel. I don't remember when or where, but I remember watching a panel and someone said, if you're going to promote like your brand on TikTok and you want to have a TikTok presence, you have to be prepared if your brand goes viral
Mm,
because you need to make sure that you have the supply that the demand is calling for.
right, exactly, because you just can't be prepared. Like if you're not prepared, then it could be bad for your business.
Totally.
Ugh.
So I guess for all the brands out there.
Yeah.
And then lastly, the last Black-owned brand I just want to shout out is 13 Loon. So 13 Loon is this website that's basically like a Sephora. It's like a retail front online that supports many Black-owned brands. I think there's like 73 Black-owned brands, I believe, on the site.
Wow.
You can go on, you can shop, you can categorize it by hair, by skin, whatever it is. They have an About Me section. The founder is a Black woman. She founded this a few years ago, and it has just really blown up. And it's a great website to find Black-owned brands if you're interested in supporting.
That's amazing. I'm on their website right now and it looks very nice.
It's so pretty, right?
Yeah, clean and just
Yeah.
very, I want to shop it. I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
obviously, it's meant to serve the need, which is there aren't as many options available to women of color within the beauty industry. It's to help that. But also, like I'm saying, Olaplex. I use Olaplex.
And I think the difference here is like Miele is specifically for Black hair, like that's how they market it, whereas Black owned brands are serving the need of everyone.
Got it.
You can read their About Me section and read more about the brand to learn if it's supposed to be for Black women or Black men in general, or if it's supposed to be for the
Right.
bigger audience.
Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, I went on Miele's website too, and it was very obvious to me that this was made for women of color, Black women. So, I think it is kind of interesting to me that, a more Caucasian influencer would have been, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I guess maybe it was just on Amazon and she saw like hair growth and then she just bought it. So who knows? But just
I see.
if you're an influencer with millions of followers, I think sometimes you just have to pay special attention to those kinds of things.
That's true. Know what you're using and what you're promoting
Exactly.
and what the message behind it.
Exactly. So those are my hauls and my recs, and I've been
Wow.
very in the beauty world lately. Surprise, surprise.
I hope everyone listening loves Chanel's beauty recs because not only is this her passion, she does it also partly for work. So, well, it is her job. So she's sharing her professional tips here.
Yeah, and I've learned about a lot of these brands from work too. So it's just been like a colliding of worlds for me over here. So
And now you're sharing it with a podcast. Oh, I love
yeah,
that.
I know.
Glad to see it.
Glad to see it.
Okay.
Okay, so should we do some outstanding items from last week with the boys?
Yes, we had so much fun with the boys. Thank you to everyone for your love and support of our boyfriends.
Yeah, everyone was so sweet.
Yeah, they loved Martin,
Loved Mitch.
loved Mitch. I think they're going to take the show over from here.
I know we definitely have to have them on again. We already talked about an episode that we want to do with them again in the future. So they will be back.
They will for sure be back. I think they were ready to start their own podcast right then and there.
The chemistry was there.
So, speaking of chemistry, let's head to the polls because we did a few polls before Valentine's Day and we teased our listeners. Sorry about that, but we just had too much to talk about with the boys. So, Chanel, do you mind if I take this since I've been sick and I didn't get to go shopping?
You go for it. Let the people know what happened in our polls.
Okay, so we asked you guys how often are you going out on dates? And we got a good mix of things. About 12% of you said, no, thank you, you're not currently going on dates. 29% said about 1 to 2 times a week you're going out. 35% said 1 to 2 times a month you're going out. And 24% said only on special occasions.
So the highest was 1 to 2 times a month.
Correct. Not by a lot, by marginally.
Yeah, and behind that was 1 to 2 times a week.
Yep, and behind that was only on special occasions.
1 to 2 times a week seems
aggressive.
kind of like a lot, right? Like good for you guys, honestly.
Maybe they're single and dating though.
Okay, true.
So
That's
when I was single and dating, I would say I would go out on dates at least 1 to 2 times a week. How about you?
Agreed, same.
But now in living with your partner era, what are you doing?
So now that you're talking, I'm getting all these things in my head. I'm like, yeah, I guess in that sense, like I can imagine like if we weren't living together, we'd be going out 1 to 2 times a week if we weren't living together, or maybe more. But we do live together. I think we try and do 1 to 2 times a month. I would say we did it a little bit more last year, but since we had so much going on last year, we're kind of just trying to lay low the first few months of this year. So as of right now, it's like once a month.
Yeah, I agree with you. When you're not living with your partner, you definitely like schedule time to see them at least once a week, I think.
Yeah. What are you guys doing now?
Right now, it's like I don't even know what date night is anymore. I feel like we do a lot of different things, like we'll get pizza or we'll go out to eat, but I think date night is when we get dressed up maybe and say, "Okay, let's do date night." So maybe 2 to 3 times a month.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I agree with you. I think it's like when it's the two of you, you make a conscious effort to like look nice, you dress up, you go somewhere different, whether it's a comedy show or like a restaurant or whatever it is.
not the dog park.
Um, Not the dog park, correct. No roadie.
Yeah.
I actually, so someone DM'd us on Instagram replying to this question, and she said, "We make it an effort to have a conscious planned date night one time a week and a planned date once a week." And it was one of your friends. And I saw it and I replied to it and I was like, "Love it. What kinds of date nights do you guys do?"
I know. I was seeing all these notifications come in from this girl, and I grew up with her and went to high school with her. And I haven't talked to her in a little while. So it was amazing to see this conversation going and you picking it up. And I was like,
Yeah,
wow.
I just went for it. I was like, I was just like, I kind of wanted to like pick her brain a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, "What kind of date nights do you guys do?" And she was like, "Usually we just go to dinner or a used bookstore, roller skating, antique store, one walk around so we can talk and have fun activity. We've recently been doing pick for the other person days." Where I pick something to do on a Saturday afternoon that she knows her husband will love, and vice versa. She said they do like cooking videos on YouTube and have a cooking night in together. She said, "After 10 years, we have tried to intentionally spend time together weekly." I'm like, "That
10
is
years?
so cute." I'm like, "That's
Wow.
amazing." And I just kept asking her questions.
I know you were living for this chat. And then
I was
finally I jumped
loving
in
it.
and I was like, I just want to make sure you know you're talking to Chanel. Like I felt bad, but I also was so excited because I was actually on date night with Mitch. And so
Oh,
it
okay.
was
That's
nice.
funny.
Yeah, no, it was nice that you were able to talk with her. And I just absolutely love that our worlds are colliding and we're able to make connections with each other's friends and networks and people.
I know. I thought it was so cute. I didn't really know who she was. And I was just responding to her. And then I texted you after. And I'm like, "I've been DMing this person." And you're like, "Oh my God, that's my friend from high school."
Yeah.
So she shared some really good ideas. So obviously, I just wanted to share it just now.
Yeah.
And
Hey, girl, you're very active and I
I
love that
know.
you are keeping your relationship so interesting and full of fun activities.
Yeah, good for them
And
after
thank you
10
for
years.
yeah, and thank you for sharing with us and our listeners.
Yeah. So I asked if I could share. She said yes. So
Good.
thought that would be helpful.
So
Okay.
sweet.
What was the next poll question?
Okay, the next poll question was, do you enjoy date nights out or to stay in? 55% said out and about, 23 said Netflix and chill, 23% actually alone time please. So a lot of people are out and about.
Yeah. I was surprised though.
You were?
I thought out and about on Netflix and chill would be a little bit more balanced, I guess. But a lot of people like to go out. Good for
I
everybody.
think date nights are nights out, especially, if we're living together another night in. So
It's just another night in, yeah.
it depends
But you can
though.
make it special.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And if you are like dating and maybe a date night in is like a different experience for you because you're not spending time like constantly going out on dates. And sometimes it's nice to just be the two of you and watching a movie, having
Yeah,
some
and like the
popcorn.
dating world, it's like a little bit more intimate.
Yeah,
If you're just starting to get to know someone and you're going out to restaurants all the time and you're around people, and then maybe you switch it up on like the fifth date and you're in your home.
yeah, exactly. Also, that 23% that said actually alone time, please.
Was that you?
I didn't respond to this poll, but I appreciate you.
You didn't do our poll?
No,
What the heck?
sorry, I was a little busy.
You're too busy on your own date night.
Yep, exactly.
So which one would you choose?
I like to go out and about for date night. What about you? I don't even have to ask. You like to go out and about.
Yeah, I like out and about. I like to do different things though. I don't always want to go to a restaurant. Like I like when we do a comedy show and food. I mean, I always want food, but
Yeah,
I like when we also do something else besides just go out to eat.
right. You have like a fun activity or something to do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's nice. Okay. And then the last question was, have you ever been in an interracial relationship? Chanel, have you ever been in an interracial relationship?
Yeah, I think I have.
Well, 47% said yes, 37% said no, and 16% said currently in an interracial relationship. Are you
uh,
surprised by those numbers?
I was a little bit surprised that the yes was high.
Me too.
I was like, good for everybody. Getting out there and dating outside of your race and, seeing different cultures and, just expanding a little bit.
Yeah, I like that. And I have been, I won't say it was a relationship, but I have dated interracially.
Yeah, I think it may have been confusing the way that I worded it because someone that I know responded no, and I DM'd her and I was like, wait, what? I was like, you definitely have, and she was like, well, not a relationship, but I've dated people, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I think I meant it more. Have you ever just dated
Yeah.
someone?
So that's how I answered it. So I answered
Yes.
yes. I did do
Okay.
this one. I just didn't do the date night one.
Okay, that's fair. So for me, the answer is yes as well.
Yes. And if you haven't listened to the episode for Valentine's Day, Chanel, you had some insights with Martin, which I really appreciated you sharing with me and Mitch and our listeners.
Thank you. Yeah, it was nice for us to talk about it. There's not often times that the two of us talk about it to other people. I think we talk about it alone a lot, but to kind of share it was nice, and it was different. And I actually had someone reach out to me who's also in an interracial relationship and just say that she loved hearing us talk about it. She shared a little bit of her experience, and it was kind of just nice to talk. Like, it opened the conversation for the two of us to talk about our experiences, and I don't think we would have done that otherwise. So I'm really happy that me and Martin shared our experiences, and I was able to talk to someone else from it, and we were able to kind of connect on that.
Wow, that just made my heart so happy.
I know. She sent me like the nicest, like longest text. And obviously, some of the stuff we talked about was not nice when we shared some of our experiences. But I think it was nice that we had that space to talk about it with each other because of the episode.
Yeah, that's really great. You hadn't shared that with me, but it
I
really makes me
know.
happy to hear that you were able to have this conversation.
Yeah, I think it's important. So it was good.
You guys were both very vulnerable with us, and we really appreciate it. And
Thank
it's
you.
definitely something. And we say this a lot, but it deserves a longer episode in itself too.
Yeah, thank you. But you and Mitch shared a lot too, and I'm glad you guys shared your experiences because I
Yeah.
think like listening back, like obviously in the moment we were all like talking, but listening back, it was Gabe. Like I like that you guys had different perspectives on a lot of things. Like even when he was talking about like you supporting him, and you were like I do support you, and how you said how you support him. I think that was like super important for everyone to hear as well. So I'm glad you guys shared your side of things too.
Thanks. It was so interesting to hear him talk too. I don't know if you felt this way about Martin, but sometimes some of the things that Mitch said surprised me in a funny way, or wow, it's interesting to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. It's not like questions you ask all the time. I think like were you surprised by like your pet peeves and like
I
what he
wa-
loves about you?
I wasn't surprised so much. I was actually surprised when he told me that the messiness or the chaos I bring to this house makes him feel like home.
Oh
I
yeah, that was sweet.
It was sweet, but I was like, you did not just say that. Martin's
I
here
love
being all
it.
intellectual, and Mitch is like, when there's boots in the middle of the hallway, it makes me feel like I'm home.
I appreciated it though. I was like, I get that.
If anything, Mitch is honest and real.
I love
So,
it. I
yeah,
thought it was so funny though. Like I think we had such a good time like recording too.
it was an awesome double date.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was so long. It was like 4 hours. We had to cut so much.
I know. But also, when you think about it, I wonder if couples are having conversations like these when they do go on double dates,
Yeah, that's true.
you
Like
know?
how we met, pet peeves, having chat about interracial relationships.
I'm sure pet peeves come up a lot, but the interracial relationships, that's something that we have never talked about with Martin together.
Yeah, yeah,
And it really opened up my eyes too, because just hearing you guys talk, I was like, wow, this is something, it's a part of your relationship, and you guys talk about it, how where you go, different places, and that's just, I haven't experienced that in our relationship, but it was interesting for both of us to think about it sitting there, it just opened my eyes a lot to the dynamics of your relationship. And it's like a different form of love that you guys can also have because you're relating to this thing that you both are experiencing together. And even though it's like you prefer not to have to experience that, and I don't want you to have to experience that, you deal with something very difficult on almost a daily basis. And I think it just adds to your love and commitment to each other.
Yeah, I think too, like I'm really lucky with him. He gives me the space to talk about it so openly. And whether I'm feeling discouraged or disheartened about it, or I'm angry or I'm sad or I'm whatever I'm feeling about it in that day or that moment, he comes ready to listen and ready to help with what I'm feeling. And we talk about it so much. And I appreciate you guys also, listening and talking about it, because I know it's not an easy conversation to have, but I'm glad we were able to.
Me too. I'm glad we talked. Okay, so we had a few open-ended questions, and thank you to everyone that submitted answers. That was so fun to do as a first time, and we're going to keep doing them and sprinkling them here and there. To keep it short, we are going to focus on a few of the questions we received, and one of them was how do you communicate if something small is bothering you without it turning into an argument? So how do you communicate that with your partner?
You go first. I went first last time.
Okay. Um, for me, I don't like to have arguments, so I come at these conversations very factual and level-headed, and I don't think adding emotion to anything really helps something, especially if it's something important to you or to your partner that you're trying to communicate. So I stick to the facts, and if it is getting a little heated, then say, okay, take your time. I actually say, like, I'm not going to argue with you, or I'm not, I'm talking at a level place, then we can have a conversation about it. It doesn't have to become an argument. And I think
Mhm.
once you say, like, this doesn't have to be an argument, we can talk about it, that it's like talking and arguing are different to me.
Mhm. I think that's a good point. And also, like, remembering that not every conversation is an argument. Like, you can just talk about things. I think sometimes people think if you're communicating about something that's bothering you, it's automatically an argument, but it's not. Sometimes you're just communicating your feelings, and you can just be talking, and you're not fighting, you're just having a conversation.
Right. And a lot of it turns into tone too.
Totally.
If you just think about the tone you have when communicating something and taking that and saying, okay, let me think about how I want to say this, it can change from an argument to a conversation quickly.
Yeah, I agree. Tone is huge.
Yeah,
If you talk to each other respectfully, you'll have a respectful conversation where you can just air out your feelings.
exactly. And that takes with time and the right partner, right situation, knowing how to communicate. And communication is really hard. So not to argue is just not a real thing, but
Yeah, I agree with you. I think for me, like, it's hard because I kind of like internalize my feelings a little bit, because I
mm,
don't want to like blow up about something small. So for me, I just kind of think about it for a bit. I'm like, why am I feeling like this? Why am I so annoyed about it? Like, is it something deeper? Am I actually annoyed about something else? And this something small is the reason that I'm saying something.
right.
So I kind of like internalize for a bit before I say anything, because I want to understand like where it's coming from. And then when I communicate it, I just communicate it with everything I've been thinking about. So if it's something like, I'm going to use this example, even though Martha's cleaner than me. If it's something like, oh, you left dishes in the sink, it's like, am I annoyed at the dishes, or am I annoyed that the laundry wasn't done and the bathroom wasn't
They
done?
add up.
They add up, and now this small thing has now annoyed me. So I think if that's the case, then you go to them and say, like, these are the things that I've been thinking about. This is what's been bothering me, and I just want to communicate to you so that we can find a way to fix it and come to a compromise, so that it doesn't continue to boil up.
Right. That's a good point. Start it early, nip it in the bud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next question. How do you not feel too anxious about meeting your partner's friends and family, etc.? That's a funny one.
Why is that funny?
Because I'm always anxious. So I can speak I guess I have advice to that, but why don't you start while I wrap my head around it?
Okay. I think for me, I try and, you guys know this, I've talked about it before, but I try and be prepared. Like, that's just how I am with everything. So if I know that I'm going to go meet friends or family, I'll just ask my partner, like, what do I need to know about this person? Like, what should I stay away from? Like, what should I lean toward? What kinds of things should I bring up? Should I bring a gift? Should I bring flowers? Like, I just try and be prepared so that I know what I'm walking into, and I know what kinds of conversations to bring up, and how can I make this as easy as possible.
Mm.
The first time I met Martin's mom was on FaceTime, because she lives in Canada,
Uh-huh.
and we're here. And I was so unbelievably nervous.
Yeah,
And obviously, knowing her now, it's funny that I was nervous because she's like the sweetest, nicest person ever. But the minute I got on, she was so warm and welcoming that like all of my nerves went away.
that's great.
I think it helps when the family side is warm
That's true too,
and
for sure.
welcoming.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it goes both ways.
it does. Yeah, that's a good point. I actually like I don't think I've been too anxious meeting friends and family before. Like that's kind of a safe space. I know when I was younger I did, but like with Mitch, I also haven't met too many people's friends and family. So with Mitch, I just felt comfortable with him. And he has a big family, so I definitely was nervous, but I was confident in like just being polite. I'm like, okay, I can be a decent person, so I know I'm going to be
Yes.
okay. But I definitely that anxiety made me more quiet, I think.
Mhm.
It's hard to know what people are going to talk about and what their sense of humor is and how you can relate to them. And a lot of it's easy. Like, I feel like most of the time, friends and family will ask you questions and you answer, but it's just kind of reading the room
Yeah, it is.
at first that gives you some anxiety. The first time I met Mitch's dad, Mitch had told me something about their family dynamics and I didn't know it was something that he didn't want to talk about. And it's
Mm.
not a secret, but also it's just not something that they talk about as a family very like casually. So we were talking about something and I just brought up what Mitch had shared with me and the room went silent and I
Oh
was like,
no.
"Oh, so you guys don't talk about that."
Oh
It was the
no.
first time I met him and it just got so awkward and I just was like, "Mitch, how could you not tell me you but if you shared that with me, I assumed it's something you talk about."
See, this is what I'm saying. Ask questions so you're
I
prepared.
know. So when you were saying that, it was immediately it
Yeah.
brought up this that memory and that's why I'm sharing it because I'm like, I wish
Yeah.
I
That's rough.
asked but I didn't know, "Hey, do you talk about this?" I
No,
assumed
and
that
I'm
if
sure
you're
they
sharing
didn't
it
blame you. They just didn't know how to respond to it.
yeah, and it's okay, like, nothing it's not nothing's held against me or anything, I mean, we're still dating, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, he talked last episode about how much his family loves you, so I think you're doing great. So I think those are good. Just be prepared and also read the room.
yes. Read the room. So we also asked people what their pet peeves were for their significant other, and we picked our 3 favorites. So, leaving the toilet seat up.
It's funny people are still doing that in 2023.
I know, Mitch is good about it, I don't think we ever have that
Yeah,
problem.
same.
Ooh, someone said his posture.
Mm.
Oh, interesting. That's funny when, like, there's physical things about your partner that bother you.
Yeah, because it's like, how do you say something?
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
hard to tell. That's hard to be like, can you fix your face?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the next one was the fact that he just said, I'm perfect. Also, I think all my issues are roommate issues and not relationship issues.
Probably the dishes and the not cleaning the bathroom and the other
Uh,
stuff I was talking about versus like actual relationship issues,
yeah. I
like
guess like
living together.
yeah. I guess that idea of you're perfect too is hard
Yeah.
because
Because it's
like
like you're on a pedestal.
yeah, and then you want to be like, "No, I'm human." I get
It's
that.
great for your partner to think you're perfect. Like love that vibe. But
Yeah.
also it's hard because then you feel like you can't do anything wrong or
Right. I struggle because this isn't really a pet peeve, but similar to this, Mitch lets me choose a lot of things, which is really great. And it gives me a lot of the flexibility to be like, oh, I like do what I want to do because he's so easygoing. He's like, I'll do whatever, honestly.
Are you
I,
talking about your pet peeve right now?
yeah.
Didn't you share them on the last episode? You're like coming up with new ones now. I'm like, wait, we did this. Now you have a brand new one. You're
No,
like, I know we did an episode, but I thought about it and I'm back.
no, it's to go with the I'm perfect, that
Oh,
idea of
oh,
that you're
okay,
perfect.
okay.
It's that like I under it's within the same vein
Okay.
that I mean, I can do no wrong, honestly. Anything my mom this drives my mom crazy. It's my mom's Mitch pet peeve because he's that cheerleader that I talked about
Mm.
that just wants you to live your best life. For me, he doesn't care about a lot of things. So he'll just like let me do like say where I want to go to dinner or what color we should paint the wall or whatever. But sometimes that gets hard because like you want like a partner to like balance out as like a person. So like the idea of you're perfect, it's like, but can you tell me something's wrong with me?
Yeah, like maybe
Yeah.
don't paint the walls black.
Yeah, right. Like,
Maybe don't wear
ooh,
that skirt today.
right. But roommate issues, yeah, I think a lot of our pet peeves are roommate issues, right? If you're
Yeah, I
living with
mean,
them.
yeah, I think so.
That's a good point though. Dating pet peeves, a lot of people said ghosting, games,
Mm.
texting. What are they doing? Or why aren't they texting?
We
Red
got a
flags.
few responses on this one, and they were all pretty much the same.
Red flags.
Yeah, like no texting back, games, being clear about your intentions, like all that stuff.
Are we dating? Are we not dating?
Right.
Yeah, red flags.
I think I can relate to that
Ugh.
from when I was dating. It was the worst. That's exactly what I think of when I think of dating is all of the unclear intentions and the commitment issues and all that stuff.
Yeah. Ugh. Ugh.
Just alone time, please.
Yeah, just alone time. Exactly. And that's why
Uh,
we have that answer.
that's funny.
Okay. And then we don't have to talk about what your favorite things about dating your relationship, right?
Nah, let's skip that
Let's
one.
skip it. It's too lovey. Um,
Valentine's Day is over.
it's over. No love. You get one day a
Yeah,
year.
one day.
Okay. And how do you guys practice self-love? Ooh, I like this
Oh, I
one.
like that one.
Ooh. A few people said manifestation, journal it
Mm.
out, dream board it out. You go, girl. Self-care, time to decompress, journal, gratitude reflections, movies, candles. Okay. Girl time. Yay, girl time. Getting your nails done. Love that. Hot yoga and snuggles with animals. Yes.
I know exactly who wrote the hot yoga and snuggles with animals. I called her out. I was like, I know you wrote this. And she started laughing.
Uh,
I was
wait.
like, that has you written all over it. Actually, the girl who wrote it is one of my best friends, Sarah. And I called her out about it. I was like, I know you did this one. She was like, wait, she's the one who told me about core power, which I texted you about, Tori.
Yes.
And I was like, I really want to do core power, the yoga class. So we should try it.
I'm down to try it.
It's like a hot yoga thing.
Yeah, I'm so down. I've been wanting to try it, and if I could get you to love yoga, that'd be great.
So she knows I don't love it either. And I was kind of telling her about my ailments, like my calf, my back, my
Everything.
everything. And she thought like the heat from the yoga would be good for all of that, plus the
Oh.
stretching and stuff. And I told her that what I don't like about it is that they make you sit in your stretch for too long. But she said it's not really like that. It's a little bit more fast paced.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm
So
down
I'm
to try
willing
it.
to try it. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's do it.
once we both get cleared from PT.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll do a real review.
Yes. Oh my God, I am so excited. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me saying that. How do you practice self-love? The same ways as above?
I practice self love with beauty products and shopping.
Nice.
How about you?
Chanel Sephora haul.
How about you?
I practice it by, self-love that can't include roadie.
No, that's all you,
Yeah.
baby.
I usually practice it through exercise, which I'm looking forward to getting back to, and yoga. So I love that one. And
I
how
guess you can say
else?
snuggles with animals because she says snuggles with animals.
Yeah, no, but
Snuggles with Rody.
snuggles, going like spending time with Rhodey outside in nature, you know, those types of things. Doing the
Okay.
podcast is self-love for me.
Yeah, you do a lot of self podcast love. I'm like, go to sleep.
Yeah, I know. Ugh,
Was that our last poll question?
it was.
Oh, that was fun.
I know. I missed having you here in person,
Me too.
but I'm glad we talked either way.
Yeah, me too. This was a good one. And I'm glad we, got a chance to, even though you were sick. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yes, thank you. And I know we teased a few great guests coming up. We did have Mitch and Martin, so those were two great guests, but we also have a few other exciting people lined up. We're just trying to reschedule based on me
The
unfortunately
bug.
getting sick. Yes. So those episodes are to come, and we promise they're going to be really great.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And I know we teased some books too, and we're currently reading the one we mentioned, the Fear Fighter Manual. We're both reading it, and Tori read the Quit Like a Woman. We want to do a whole episode around alcohol and our relationship with alcohol. So I think we'll talk a little bit more about the book in that episode.
Yes. So stay tuned. So in the meantime, follow us along on Instagram and TikTok at Glad We Talked Podcast. You can email us at gladwetalkedpodcast@gmail.com if you have anything you'd like to share with us, any recommendations for the Glad We Read This Book Club, any recommendations for the Glad We Worked Out Club, anything that
We
you
got
want to
one.
share.
Core Power Yoga.
Core Power Yoga. Yeah, keep sharing them with us. Or Glad We Tried This, recipes, anything for
Real
the
review.
real review. Email us, DM us. As you know, we like to hear from you.
So next time we come to you, Black History Month will be over, but we'll always continue the conversations around race. And like we shared today, some Black owned products that I'm loving, that Tori has tried. I think Tori's going to do some shopping on 13 Loon.
I am.
So, we do want to continue this conversation, but, we're glad we got to highlight some important things this month. Don't forget to rate us and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yes.
I'm glad we talked, Tori.
I'm so glad we talked. All right.
And we'll see you next week.
See you then. Bye.
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 You know what I haven't said in a while? I love that.
You said it a few times this episode, so
I did?
You did.
Oh, it's like I don't even realize it.
It's okay. It makes you, it's your catchphrase.
So someone DM'd us about this question on our podcast. Okay, what am I saying?
Someone DM'd us on the podcast.
Okay. You see what I mean? We can't speak today.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm confused what you're trying to ask.
No, I'm just working that out.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening. See you later, alligators.